DEI is not a pipeline problem. It's not a process problem or a policy problem. It's a leadership problem. But leaders are also the ones and the only ones who can fix this DEI problem. And if the overall health of the organization, as measured by the overall health of its leaders, is not monitored and actively managed, you can't achieve the diversity and equilibrium and equality being sought.
As organizations look to drive more diverse, engaged cultures, holistic leadership strategist and talent and career expert Ginny Clarke explains that creating the conscious workplace for tomorrow starts with leadership today.
Leadership isn't about your title and necessarily the number of people reporting to you. Leadership to me is how you show up and how are you inspiring everybody that you interact with. That to me is what leadership is. Empathy, consciousness, integrity all go together. And so it's time that we begin to change the course of organizations by optimizing talent.
Ginny is the former director of executive recruiting at Google, where she led the company's diversity recruiting and internal mobility program. Drawing on her decades-long experience advising leaders in corporate boardrooms and C-suites, including as partner at global executive search firm Spencer Stuart, she shares how to not only retain top talent, but attract and assess new talent in support of your strategic objectives.
Pedigree. Think about what you like to look for when you're reviewing someone's resume. Which schools did they go to? Which companies have they worked for? What might have been their grades if they're more junior? And we're using these as predictors of success, right? We also tend to rely on who do they know, relationships. Competencies are those things that matter more than experience. Because one of the things that I learned is, being educated doesn't make you smart, and being smart doesn't make you competent. When you get to leadership roles, the domain expertise becomes secondary. That's table stakes. We presume that you have that, but do you have leadership competencies? I want to offer some very specific leadership competencies. Now, the first one is decision making. How does somebody make their decisions? A team can be hobbled by the indecision, paralyzed. The second competency that I want to talk about sounds simple: effective communication. We don't communicate well. We don't write well. We don't all speak well. The other important piece of communication is feedback. You couple that conflict aversion that some people have into this scenario of communicating, and they don't want to say anything negative, you're hurting people. A leader resolves conflict, they pass along critical feedback so that the people under their direction can be better. Now I'm going to switch to an attribute: integrity. Integer is the root. It's a Latin root, and it means whole, complete. So having integrity, to me, means that you speak truth. You represent wholeness without fear. We need to shift how we're thinking about an us versus them, best versus not, and begin to see this unified vision for what talent looks like, global talent, and what leadership needs to look like and feel like as we move forward.
Ginny delivers no-holds-barred discussions on the root causes that lead to a lack of diversity in organizations and provides the thoughtful solutions that leaders at any organization can use to affect change in the new era of work.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion. I have a gripe with it. And the gripe is, I think there's some organizational malpractice, as I call it. A lot of organizations are doing things like, let's go find a chief diversity officer. And I'm not against chief diversity officers, I'm not. But here's what I do worry about: that people aren't going to root cause. They're treating symptoms. They're not treating the underlying issue. And part of what I'm saying is the underlying issue is leadership and how we define what good looks like. And I'm offering a different way of determining what good looks like, what best looks like. And I suggest to you that it is competencies. This is personal. We can't keep pointing to the organization anymore. This is each one of you needing to do a deep dive and check your beliefs, your biases, the level to which you have integrity, your preferences. It's time to cull the herd. And this is something that most organizations aren't very good at. Having a process and an infrastructure in place such that you are assessing people on the basis of things that matter, namely competencies, not relationships, not where they worked before, not where they went to school, not did they just hit the numbers at all costs. When you have that kind of a structure in place where you can make the call, again, that's what leaders do. You make the tough call.